this is our last topic in our big topic here. This is our system specific outcome three, which is resolving problems with single user and multi-user computer operating system. So we are now expected to resolve the problems. We have just been able to diagnose and find out what the problem is. We've been able to retrace our steps and really identify and check where the problem is. The issue now is how then do we resolve problems. So generally, we've got the general troubleshooting techniques, just like identifying the fact that I'm offline, then I troubleshoot, and then the computer is able to fix and return me back to being online. There's also what we call software troubleshooting. Several software programs can gather and display useful information when you're trying to understand what's happening inside your network. These programs are available as free trial downloads, as so you don't even incur a cost when testing them. Especially when it comes to network problems, there's a program called Network Magic, which is able to provide a graphic display of the devices connected to a LAN, meaning your local area network, and to a central control point for adding new network devices or changing the existing network configuration. Then it can also be able to perform basic troubleshooting tests and automatic repairs. This could save you time. This could also help you easily identify where the problem is and also solve the problem itself, because time is never on our side when you're busy at work. Then, common computer problems and their solution. There is a very terrible computer problem that I'm sure you've faced before, which is called the BSOD, or the blue screen of death, where the computer just goes blue and there's nothing else you can do at that particular moment with the computer. I can actually show you as a screenshot. BSOD. It'll look something like this. There is nothing else you can do on the screen during that particular time when the computer is like this. The only thing you can do is to press the off button and press it on again. This could actually be caused by a lot of different issues. The issues could be with the operating system, and the operating system is unable to do certain tasks, such as maybe you just installed new hardware, such as your graphics card, and then your operating system is unable to communicate well with that particular graphics card. Once it's unable to do so, maybe the graphics card is actually dead now. Now the operating system is unable to do anything. It then gives you the blue screen of death to just say, I'm now collecting information and sending it back to Microsoft. Hopefully they will be able to help you. And hopefully when you switch on your computer again, things will be fine. Sometimes things are fine. Sometimes once it's there, it never leaves. And then now you need much more diagnostics and much more advanced ways of solving that problem. We could also have another problem called the missing DLL file. The missing DLL file is actually the dynamic link library. These files house information for your operating system on how to perform certain functions. So operating system is a big software. If you were to write all the lines of code that are needed for you to end up with the operating system, you have Bibles upon Bibles of lines of code. So those are divided into libraries. Literally, they are then called dynamic link libraries. In case there is a problem with one of those little libraries, it means that particular function defined by that particular library will not be able to function well. Once that function is not functioning, you then have problems with your operating system. You then have problems with your computer. So once you have those problems, again, you might actually need to restore these particular DLL files by downloading them and putting them back on your computer. You actually be then told by the diagnostic tool which particular DLL files are missing. But in case you're wondering where then they are found, but I advise you, do not mess with these particular files, as they are advanced stuff, and once you've spoiled them, you might never be able to use your computer again. But you actually find them in your installation folder where Windows is actually installed. So if you go to your program files here, if you search in some of these, let me just see on Google what's there. In some of these particular, this one is not here, or files there. Where is Adobe? in some of these program files, you actually be able to see your DAL files. You see, Adobe PDFL.dll. Once I delete one of these files, my Adobe After Effects program will not be able to function properly. I'll then need to download this file again or reinstall the software for it to work. You might then ask yourself, why would I ever delete this? This could be by mistake. I could leave this computer like this, and a child walks in here and deletes one of these files, or a co-worker walks here, and instead of deleting something they wanted to delete, they end up deleting stuff like this. Or other problems like a virus attacks it and makes it corrupt. All those things could end up with the file not working properly. The only way will be then to download them and putting them back on your machine. And applications that won't install. There are certain applications that might not be able to install, and this may be because your computer doesn't have enough hard disk space. Hard disk space, when we're talking about hard disk space, we're talking about this space over here. As you can see, my computer says 162 gigabytes free of 390 gigabytes, and this one has got 40 gig free. This one has got 24 gigabytes free. Let's say this particular disk is now full, and normally it will be looking red at that time. Once it's now full, you'll see that your installations won't work, because installation, by virtue of installing a software, you're literally downloading it and putting it on your particular computer. It needs space to go there. If that space is not there, then you're in trouble. Applications that run slowly. There are several reasons why the applications might run slowly. Your operating system might be missing updates, or your computer doesn't have enough hard disk space. So hard disk is always a big issue. You should always have enough space. Once you don't have enough space, you might actually have your systems running very smallly. Abnormal applications behavior, which is computer problems that involve applications acting strangely, it oftentimes leave you wondering what has actually happened. Your application has been working just fine, but now seemingly without reason, it's no longer working the way you expect it to work. For example, your Microsoft Word will no longer show the top margin on your document. It still says it's there, and then you print it. There is not a problem, just you can see it on your monitor. If this is happening, you might want to restart your computer or conduct an internet search for the type of problem you're experiencing, or consulting your user manual to help you as well. So such things, there's no way to avoid them. Sometimes they just happen due to an update that happened, and then there was a bug or a mistake in the update that makes certain things that are assumed to be visible be invisible to you when you're using the computer. The only way to solve these things is then to read about them in the manual, or to search about them on the internet. Usually, whenever these problems are identified, they are posted online and people discuss about them. And usually the makers of the software find solutions fast, so that we keep on respecting them. Then we can also use what is called a system repair software. For example, if your computer has got what is called the blue screen of death that we just talked about, you can then try to find a system repair software that can also free up space you need for another application, and it can optimize your computer so that it runs faster. So this system repair software can actually identify that these problems are being caused by exactly this particular part of your computer. It could be your hard drive which is failing, it could be a hard drive which is full, it could be your other parts of the computer which are causing the problem. This system repair software will actually identify them, and once it has identified them, it will actually be able to tell you what to do. You can then take some of these actions, and you're back to working with your computer normally. So that's how we actually resolve our problems with our operating systems in our real life. Most of these lessons were straight to the point. I tried to explain as much as possible, but some things could be missed. So make sure you also do your research with your internet. Make sure you read your learner guide, which I'll send to you. And once you are done with all that, it'll be very easy for you to understand the next part of this lesson, which is actually the answering of the questions. Let me just show you what the questions will be looking like in the next lesson.